Church at the bar. You're about to enter.
Get down on your knees, cross your hands, close your eyes, ask God, help you understand.
I'm casting all my cares to you. Casting all my cares unto you, Lord.
You're about to enter.
Down on my knees,
Church at the bar.
cross my hands, close my eyes, ask God, help me understand what I'm going through. I'm just a man. It's a hard road, but it's all in God's plan.
You're about to enter Church at the Bar, meeting people where they are.
Today's discussion is based on the scripture which tells us the order of a family found in the book of Genesis, chapter 2, starting at verse 24.
Okay.
So, welcome to Church at the Bar, meeting people where they are. Today, I'm here with all of my good friends and family that I love so much. I got my friend Tiffany here, the songbird. I have my cousin Crystal, who is also a songbird. Yeah. And we have our good friend, yes, James Mack, the Mack of God. Woo! So, James, you hanging in there with us as the only man in the room, you and Tony. Y'all are just hanging in there with us and dealing with our foolishness, and thank you so much. So today, we are talking about family roles, okay? So when people get married, they say vows, okay? And one part of the marriage vows, I think they still say this in many of the marriage vows, is that you're supposed to forsake all others, okay? And there's a specific scripture in the Bible that says your man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife. Okay. So what I want to talk about today and discuss with you guys is why is it so hard for people of this day to grasp that concept of your husband or wife coming first? Why do people have such a difficult time with, the man leaving his father and mother and being joined to his wife? Why is it that we live in this society now of, oh, well, no, my mom was here first, or my dad was here first, or my brother was here first, rather than listening to the book that is governing us, by which the marriage vows we said. Why is it?
If you want to go, Crystal? I'm a gentleman.
Yes, Crystal. Good. I like this group. It's funny.
Yes. So what was the question again? Reiterate.
We'll reiterate. So, in today's day and age, it is often very hard for men and women to understand the order. God has an order of the family. He has a role for the man and who he should respect. And in a marriage, in accordance to the Bible, your wife comes first. Your husband comes first. Your mama, your dad, your brother, your sister, your kids,
even your children,
do not come before your husband or your wife. And if you're dating on training wheels to get to the husband or wife, then you're practicing. Hopefully your parents are teaching you to practice that lesson. Significant other comes first. So why is it that is so hard now?
straight up, the parents are not teaching these things. Straight up.
Well, what do you think the parents are teaching?
The parents are teaching, I took care of you. I brought you in this world. I can take you out. I slaved. I sacrificed. I worked 10 jobs to make sure that you had those. The parents are raising people that make them believe that they are supposed to grow up and take care of them because they took care of them, and that's what's happening.
And that's not.
They feel obligated to devote their lives and their beings to,
and that's not biblical.
Parents,
that's not
as opposed to for a relationship. Right. And these parents, I believe, are instilling guilt trips, and there's a lot of codependence in the family units that are going on. But overall, yes, parents are, I believe, are, now I took care of you. I sent you guys, spent all that money to send you to school. I worked 5 jobs and I made sure that you, and who was with you at every, you know what I'm saying, at every recital or every practice or and so then it's like, I gotta give back. You do. But no, you don't. Not to devote your entire life's being to your parents.
So it sounds like you're saying that parents are not teaching their children to fly. And as the Bible puts it, children should not save up for parents, but parents for children. That's Bible.
But also, Jamie, I'm also going to go back to Bible. Train up a child the way he should go. So at that point, the parents should make it their ultimate goal to be ready and preparing their young man, their young woman to go out and make a life for themselves, get married, live a productive life, serve God, right? Shouldn't they?
Right, they should. They should.
And cut the string.
Right.
We're supposed to leave
and cleave. And it's interesting because I see a lot of posts online and stuff about this, like, if your wife and your mom is in an argument, whose side you choosing, or if your dad, it's like, it's so ridiculous because it's like nobody's mother or father is on the same level as their spouse. And if a mother or father is mature, they are teaching their children to fly, because in the natural order of things, if things go in the natural order of as God would have it, your parents are going to precede you in death. Hopefully, you don't want to bury your kids. You want them to bury you. Right. So if you have raised them up in such a way that they can't fly, that they're so connected and enmeshed with you that you're almost like their wife or their husband, then when you leave here, they're left in shambles. And that's not the plan of God. It's like people question the plan of God, but there's an important reason for the method.
They're not going to know what to do.
Right.
It's called selfish.
It's called selfish.
I dated someone who mother was in she put herself in every opportunity that she can actually put herself in. It's so funny, this person just texted me. But to God be the glory. And she would deliberately, when I say do things to get my attention, it was almost like I remember in conversation she said, I know my son. I said, okay, if you know your son, you want things for your son to be great.
Right.
I said, because if he was in the situation he was in before, please tell me why wasn't he great then?
Right.
There was nothing happening. He wasn't advancing. He was still the same standing point. So you want that particular person for your son that doesn't allow your son to grow.
Right.
Doesn't allow him to prosper and be great. See, we want our children to be better than us.
Right, we should.
And that's the problem.
We should.
When we get to a place, he good. No, he ain't good. I want my son to be better than me. Yeah. I want him to know what it is to love. And the crazy part about it is this. I will say this. I wish I was married before I had my son. Because now my son is so smart that I don't want him to think that because me and mommy and daddy did not work, that I'm just going to be with any other man.
Right.
I need him to understand the principle of what love is. Because he's only going to want love when he's around it. When he digests it. If he doesn't digest what love is, he's going to be out there trying to figure it out. And I don't want that for him. I want him to know that when he comes home, this is what love is. We're not going to always be perfect. We're not going to always be this perfect family. But through prayer, through understanding, we're going to work through it. The obstacle's going to face us.
And I want to say this. I think, because I've been knowing you for a long time, child. I know that as for you with raising your son, I know that you're not going to be raising him like he's your boyfriend because that's the only opportunity at a good man you have.
And
that's the thing that I see in a lot of mothers, because you've had your own experiences, you've had love in your life, might not have worked out the way you wanted to, but you have options and opportunities still. But I feel like some people's moms when we're talking about sons, and even some people's fathers. It's like their child is the only opportunity at a good significant other, and so they covet their children and hold on to them like their children are their spouse.
And what they cause is damage.
They cause a lot of damage.
Because the problem is this: when you do that to your child, and I'm going to say that to anyone who's listening to me, let your child be your child. His first love comes from his mother. His mother is going to teach him what the love is. His father is going to teach him how to be a man. But his first love is his mother. Allow him to be able to love. Allow him to make his faults. But do not be the mother who wants to be his girlfriend. Be his mother.
That's right.
It's two separate things.
Allow
him, tell him. I always say this to people, oh, that's my son, I ain't gonna get in the mix. No. Let me say this to you. If you see your son dating two women, no, that's not okay.
Right.
Because you're a woman.
Right.
Would you want that for yourself? So I'm gonna tell my son, okay, you dating Karen? Okay. And her name not even Karen. Hey, Karen.
Yeah.
That's not my name. Oh, I thought that was you, girl. I saw you yesterday. Yeah, I'm putting it out there.
Right.
Oh.
And you could be mad at me if you want to, because guess what? You live in this house.
Right.
I raised you to be different. I didn't raise you to be some knucklehead little boy that's trying to act like he boss. You ain't boss. You ain't got no...
Right. Right.
You ain't no millionaire. I'm going to put you out there.
Right.
You under my roof. What's up?
Right.
How you doing, Karen?
How you doing, Karen?
Karen.
How you doing, Karen? Hey, girl. Hey.
It's your hair.
I love you seeing you, Karen.
He'll be mad with me. He'll be like, you better go in your room, play that video game, and think about it. Think about it. Think about what you've done. Think about it. And then come back to me and say, Mommy, I'm sorry that I disrespected you. Right. Because the woman in this house, I don't need to disrespect you.
I love that, because in disrespecting another woman, he's really disrespecting you.
Yes. And I want my son to understand that. I teach you
because
first.
it's all symbolic.
Come on.
It's all symbolic.
So it's not okay with you.
No.
It's all symbolic.
Absolutely not.
Why would any man do to other women that he wouldn't want something that he wouldn't want done to his mother?
Absolutely. His mother, yeah. It's true.
Or any other females that he endears and loves and reveres.
Yeah.
Why?
Right. I to the same token, there are fathers who don't allow their daughters,
Not me.
not you, but that don't allow their daughters and sons to fly, because it's like, in the case of boys, sometimes they're like living vicariously through their son, and so they can't let him do him. You're all up in his world and in his business and in his this and in his that, because like, Dad, you lived your life, let him fly.
Right.
Let him fly.
Right.
Your household is your household.
Right.
Let him fly.
Right.
I don't know why that is. Though with fathers, I'm not going to say it's all right when mothers do it.
I'm going to tell you what mothers do.
Yeah.
When they lack the attention from the father.
Yeah.
And see, the problem is this: you put too much pressure on the son because you want him to behave as his father should be, but that's not his job.
It's not his job.
You married that man.
That's
so
right.
if that man's going to stay in the basement all day, that is not your son's job to be your husband.
That's right.
That is your son's
Come
job
on,
to be your
child.
son. So if you chose to be with him, that's not his problem. See, but guess what you're teaching him? He's still watching. And everything that he's watching, he's learning. So when he sees his father in the basement, he's going to become that person. Mm-hmm. When he sees his mother only one cleaning, he's going to look for that person.
Child.
I'm trying to tell you something. We're like a sponge. And we don't recognize it.
And a lot of them have abandonment issues.
Come on.
They have abandonment issues.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So a lot of those abandonment issues are being projected.
Yeah.
They don't never want to feel like they're being left. And the only way to never be left is to make sure that your son never leaves you.
Yeah. Because everybody.
And the crazy part about
everybody else has.
And let me pick the wife that I think you should have. Baby, let me tell you something.
No. And that's you ain't
supposed to pick the wife, but let me tell you something. He may choose the wife that you want for him, but if you were dead and gone, he wouldn't even choose her. Mm-hmm. Because guess what? You put so much pressure on him to be the man that you want him to be, but you didn't even allow him to be the man that God had him to be.
Right.
You're so busy trying to operate it. That's why I tell people all day long. I was having this conversation with my mom. She was talking about Muslims and Christians. I love this conversation. Because if we would have sat still and not have that baby, and like he told us, he said, sit still, but you wanted to let her have that baby, you allowed the Muslims to be formed. You want to be technical? That's where it came from.
Yeah, that's a whole nother.
So let's talk about it. I go deep.
That's a whole nother deep and spooky conversation and topic for another day, because we'll be here for like 2 hours. But you're right.
I think you were asking too about the man.
Yeah. James, knowing you, because I know everybody that's in here, you don't have that issue, the boundaries issue with parents and your parents are not. I've never had a conversation with you where it's like, oh, I gotta, balance the relationship with my parents. Now, a big part of that is probably that your parents are together in a healthy relationship and they got their own thing going on. But even in situations is that I've seen, parents kind of like not allowing their child to fly. Mm-hmm. So how, as a man, if you were giving advice to another man, you have a son, so at some point you'll have to give him this advice.
Yeah.
What would you say about the whole leaving and cleaving thing? Leaving your father and mother. What advice would you give your son to help him to be able to fly as a man?
I'm going to kind of first start it from there. I wasn't like this super athlete. I can run track, I can box, but because I like those things, that doesn't mean my son has to do those things.
Right.
Or because I wasn't a good basketball player, now I'm going to try to live vicariously through my son.
Right.
And push him into this sport that maybe I think is cool.
Right.
I usually leave it open to my son. Try different sports.
Right.
Okay? And see what he gravitates to, which I'm learning.
Right.
Baseball, basketball.
Yeah.
They may not be my top.
Right. But it's his top.
It's his top.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go support him.
Yeah.
And love on him and push him. But to get to your point, I think as we move forward, leaving and cleaving for me, and you said, what would I tell a young man or tell my son? I'm going to tell him, be better than me, right? Even though I'm not bad.
Yeah, you're not bad at that.
I think I'm fairly well.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm going to encourage him to know himself. So know thyself. But first, before knowing thyself, seek the Lord. Have that personal relationship with God. When all your friends may not agree with you, know that you're not alone. It's okay to walk alone. It's okay to know whose you are and not just who you are. Right. Whose. We're made in His image. You are made in His image. I'm going to tell my son, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. And look him in the face and say, no one can define you. No one can define you unless you give them the power to do so.
Right.
So to learn to be comfortable in who God uniquely made him to be. To know thy purpose, for I know the plans I have for you, saith the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Yeah. Plans to give you hope and a future. These are things that I'm going to drill him. Yes, I'm going to drill into him, know the word. Yes, I'm going to drill into him, trust the Lord, and understand that we're all sinners. So if you make a mistake, acknowledge it.
I'm going to be a little messy. I'm going to ask you a question.
If you make a mistake, acknowledge it. Not you got to acknowledge it to me, but acknowledge it to God.
James, I'm going to ask you a little bit messy.
Okay, that's fine.
It's not really messy.
Okay, go ahead.
Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Whatever.
But learn, before you ask that question, Minister Jamie, I'm going to continue this. I'm also going to tell him that it's okay to fail at times.
Yeah.
You're not going to always win.
Right.
Even when you're playing a sport.
Oh, come on, you better say it again.
Even when you're playing a sport.
Hello, somebody.
Yeah.
You may have to learn how to lose.
You may have to learn how to lose. Can you say it again?
You are a winner at the end of the day, but it's in learning how to deal with adverse situations that make a person who they are.
Yes.
It's not going to always go one's way.
That's right.
And that's when life comes.
Come on.
How do you deal with life? When what you expected it to be doesn't always turn out to be that way. However, even in those situations, all things work together for good. To them that love the Lord and who are called according to His purpose. It didn't say that all things are good.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question. Your son is 7, right? Okay. He's going to grow up. He's going to meet a beautiful woman. He's going to get married one day. So he's married. Okay? And his mother is out of order, has done something out of order, how are you telling your son to deal with his mom as a man so that he can still be respectful of his mom, but make her understand the boundaries in his marriage and take up for his wife?
What advice am I giving him?
Yeah, well, how you telling him to deal with his mother when she's clearly out of order?
Come on, Pastor.
She's out of order. You know she out of order. He knows she out of order. Anybody else that would hear the story knows she's out of order. Like she's just stepped out of bounds, because it's kind of like the point where he's always been her baby, but now he's somebody else's wife, and she can't conceptualize this, and someone needs to check her.
James, please answer this properly.
I can't speak for every man, but if I was speaking to my son, I'm going to say, respect your mom. She is the woman who birthed you, who loved on you, who taught you some of your first things in life. So yes, love her. But where is God calling you into your new assignment? In this season of your life, being you were son to mom, and you will always be your mother's son. But what unique assignment have you now been given?
Assignment.
Assignment as a husband to a wife. You're now walking into a new season. Are you willing to now embrace that? Because if you're not, maybe you're not quite ready for marriage, and that's okay. You know? So you have to now ask your person. I would ask my son, where are you?
Right.
Not what I want for you.
What are you ready for?
What are you ready for? First of all, not even just what are you ready for. What has God told you about that woman that you believe you're set to marry? Did he tell you that she's the one? That she's going to be your helpmate? That she's going to be your unique partner? That he made her for you and you for her? Did you hear that?
So for you, it's even going to start when he's dating. If things like that happen, you're going to check him on how to handle those situations, because you know he's going to have to handle those situations whenever he gets married.
Yes. And I will respect his choice.
And you'll respect his choice.
Can I speak?
And good. And I might have to go have a conversation with mom too.
Come on, that's
you're
what I'm
right. You might.
So it's both ways.
Because that was my key right there. So my whole thing was this: as my husband, you're leading. I need you to come to me, because I need you to tell me. Listen, we've raised him. What we put in is gonna come out. But I need you to trust the process. I need you to trust what we put in him. Because if you're going to hinder him. Because he's going to be so much trying to please you when he's not trying to please himself. He has to learn himself. Yeah. And see, that's me. I want my mate to come for me. Baby, come here, baby. Right. Come here, baby. I want to talk to you for a second. Go in the room for a second. I'm going to talk to you. Talk to your mom for a second. Right. Baby, listen to me. Yeah. I know you're scared, but we put in him. Let it come out. And I need you to trust God, because if you say you trust God, he wouldn't give us this son. No. You know what I'm saying? I need him to be what he sees in us. I need her to gain. Right. And that's the thing. Men sit there and they let their wives dictate. And this is the thing. Yes. When you was talking about Jamie, you was talking about the roles. Yeah. Let me tell you something about a role. There's a role that we play as a sister. There's a role we play as a wife. There's a role we play as a mother. Yes. We need to learn our role. Yes. And we don't want to. We so busy trying to be operating everybody else's role, when our own mess ain't right. That's why I said, when the mother wants the son to do what she wants him to do, it's because her own mess ain't right. That's right. If her mess was right, she wouldn't be worried about him. She be telling her son, "Boy, you wrong. Yo, daddy, get him, baby, because you know I'm about to get him." Right. Because that's right there. You my friend and you my husband. Right. That's right. And at the end of the day, that's our kid. Right. Get him, baby, because you know I don't roll like that. Get him. Right.
And should be encouraging the son to, at some point, have a help me.
Hello?
You know what I mean? It should be being encouraged. Or
daughter. In situations where, you know, parents, sometimes with girls, I hear parents always say, well, I want to have a little boy because girls are, I want to have a little girl. I mean, I want to have a boy because boys are easier. Boys are really not easier. They got a harder job to do in the world. So I feel like, you know, parents like hold on to their girls tight and they're like so on them. They really often don't let girls fly. And even in situations where girls finally do get, a family of their own, it's like everybody want to be, in it to tell them how they should be doing this and how they should be doing that. And the father, if there's one around, or father figure, is easy to come in and kind of like disrespect her husband.
We thank you for listening to part 1 of our discussion. Tune in next week for part 2.